Hi there, and welcome to the next in our practical simulator sessions. Now, in the next group of videos, what I want to do is to look at the ART, the Association of Ringing Teachers Learning the Ropes course, and what you can do with a dumbbell to help you with giving a new recruit to give them more opportunity for exercise when you can't particularly get into a tower, but you do have access to a dumbbell. Now, the Learning the Ropes guide, the teacher's guide, is given to anybody who goes on to one of the ART teaching courses, and in here there are a lot of exercises. So in this first video I want to look particularly at bell handling. So look at what you can do in the exercises for bell handling using a dumbbell, using simulator software, so that you can basically help to take a recruit from never having rung up to the ability to handle a bell and to take them to the tower. Now, I would like to put a proviso on this straight away, that I do understand that a dumbbell is much lighter and is not an exact replica of what you would have within a tower. However, if you are aware of that, then it's perfectly possible to work with that student when you go from the dumbbell situation to the tower to ensure that they not having issues with hitting stays, broken stays because of the extra weight that's there. But again, this is part of the whole part whole type of teaching, which ART particularly want you to follow. And what it means is, once you've got the basic principle into the head of the recruit, you can then take them to the tower and break it down again and go through it. But there won't be the same amount of learning when you get to the tower, when very often your time is much more limited. So if we start right at the beginning of learning the ropes, one of the first things that you do is show the student the mechanics, so what the parts of the bell are. Now obviously you don't have a physical bell, but you do have a wheel when you have a dumbbell, and the principles are exactly the same. So the fact that the rope goes around the wheel, it goes one side then the other. In this case I don't have a stay yet on my dumbbell, but most dumbbells can have a stay fitted, so you can show the student what the stay does and how it works. But you can show them just as well on a dumbbell as you can on a large bell in a tower. And of course, when you get to the tower, you should take them up to the belfry and show them what the real bell looks like anyway, if you haven't done that already. So if we go right to the beginning of the Learning the Ropes level 1, and you do show them the mechanics of how a bell works, you then have the basic types of training. So the hand ring exercise, which you can do with a rope over a banister at home, but if you've got a Sally, and I'm lucky I've got a full-size Sally here, I can do a hand ring exercise as well on this rope as I can on any other. But of course I can do that at 10 o'clock at night if I want. So the big advantage that you get though as you move on through the training is the fact that you do get some feedback. So if we've got virtual belfry here, we have a dumbbell, as soon as we pull the rope we can start getting some feedback. Okay, so we're getting bongs from the bell that we're using, but of course the dumbbell is much lighter, but the principles are exactly the same. So the hand stroke and the backstroke work exactly the same on a dumbbell as they would on a bell within the tower. So if we look then at ringing up and ringing down, how do you do that on a dumbbell? Well, it's actually a much quicker process very often. With this particular dumbbell I can ring it up quite happily with one pull. But you're trying to show in little ways how you would actually ring a bell up, and there is no reason why you can't do that exactly the same on a dumbbell as you can with the simulator giving you the feedback of the single and double strike. So first technical part, how do we use the simulator software to do the single and double strike? Now, when you generally have your dumbbell set up initially, you'll find that it will strike every time it comes past, which is not actually what you would normally get when you're ringing a bell, because obviously you have to ring it up to a certain point and then double clappering starts. So on Virtual Belfry there is a little cheat that you can do, or a little hack you can do, which if I can show you within the software, if we go to the sensor setting and we go to the configuration, normally in the setup for the bell we have a after a signal ignore other signals for value, which means that you don't get double strikes. Now if we put that up to a high value, for example here I'll set this to 800 milliseconds and then save and close it, what will happen now is that as you ring up it will wait for 800 milliseconds, or the best part of a second, and if it sees another signal in that time, so when the bell is just starting to move, you will only get single strikes. So it's the same as just normal ringing up. So now we can actually take our loops as we would do. Everything is much smaller, but in microcosm we can now ring up the bell, we can let our loops down, and in exactly the same way as we would do, we see the hand stroke develop. We can practice very easily removing the final loop, so throwing that loop away. Until we get to the point where we're actually ringing normally. And if you need to work with the student on just one stroke, there is nothing to stop you from literally just looking at the hand stroke or the backstroke accordingly. So ringing up and ringing down is something that you can do very, very simply within the restrictions that you have with a dumbbell. Now of course there's all the other exercises you can do in there. You've got the hand transfers, so if you've got somebody like me who's rather tend to do a bit of flying hands, you can actually work on that, so you're getting very nice straight transfers, and of course straight pulling, which is very important. If you've got a student who tends to throw the rope away and it then comes back, it will do that in exactly the same way on a dumbbell as it will when you're in the tower. So that's the first part, level 1. Those are a few of the exercises, particularly using feedback from your simulator on the dumbbell. I hope this has been useful. We'll be back shortly with level 2, where we're going to move to the next stage of ringing. But thanks very much for watching. If you have any comments, please leave them below. I will get back to you. And of course, if you want us to include anything else, then please feel free, as I say, to leave the comments below. Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe so you get notice of when more videos are released. So thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you very soon.